He closed the door quietly and took great care to lock it. Then he picked me up and carried me to the bed and laid me down.
I took her upstairs. It wasn't the first time I was taking her upstairs. I didn't suspect anything at all. It was her after all.
I was scared. I didn't know what was happening. My voice felt like it was knotted up in my throat. I clutched the chocolates he had given me in fright.
She said she wanted me to try a new swimming suit or something.
He began to push my dress up, and I could feel his hand between my thighs. I wanted to scream, but nothing would come out.
Then she started running her hands all over my body, and I stepped back, trying to get away from her. But she caught hold of my hand.
I was really scared. Suddenly my voice burst forth to the surface, and I screamed,
"Auntie, please!"
"Uncle, please don't! What are you doing?"
When my daughter first told me, I was shocked, disbelieving. I mean, I didn't know what to say. This was just too horrid to be true. We're not that kind of family, you know. We belong to the upper middle class. My brother has his own business. He's normal, married with kids. To imagine he could do something like that? No. It was just best to forget about it. It's a family problem.
Shock, disbelief. That's all that I got when I finally mustered up the courage to tell my mother. "Just forget about it," she said. Live with the belief that it had never even happened. She never asked him to stop coming home. He was Papa's friend. But every time I saw him, all I could think of was his hands and how they had hurt me, and his fast breath and his eyes. I wanted to vomit. I cried all night. I felt dirty. And even having baths couldn't set it right.
Men grope men and men grope women and vice versa. But then why is it so unbelievable that one of these men or women could grope a child or do worse? There's rape, there's sodomy. But an adult raping a child is not even recognized in the eyes of the law. It's considered a figment of his imagination, a misjudgment of his well-meaning affection. Well, if you ask me, I think that's just bullshit. My father trying to rub himself against me was no fucking sign of affection. It was unnatural. It was something that never should have happened. I thought the world of my father. But he killed our relationship. I would have killed my father if I had my way. But my mother sent me to boarding school.
Uncle used to come and play with me. Usually, when Ma was not at home and I was with Ayamma. He made me take off my frock and then we used to play. But I didn't like it. I never played like this before. And I didn't like it when he tried to give me a bath. But I didn't want to tell anyone. Mama would feel I was being naughty. I didn't want her to think that I had done something bad. But what had I done?
You know, it's beyond me. People create all this outrage about rape, the violation of an adult's modesty. We talk about rights to a sexual choice. Are children not sexual beings? Or modesty is something you magically acquire after becoming teenagers or adults? I mean, force yourself on a child just because he or she is a seeming non-entity? Why don't you just pick someone your age and fuck him or her?
She developed high fever one day. Her body was burning with high temperature. But she wouldn't let me touch her. Kept screaming for everything. It was so out of normal behavior. Never seen her so angry. And the helplessness that I felt, I decided that I had to take her to the doctor. So I took her today. But it was so traumatic. How can they call themselves doctor? She knew why I had got my baby there. But she still went ahead and spoke to her directly. Where did he touch you, beta? Huh? Come on, you have to tell doctor now. Okay? You have to tell. Where did he touch you? Did he use his hand or did he use his finger? Where all did he put his finger? Huh? Tell me. Did he touch your susu? Did he touch your susu? What all did you do with uncle? Bad girl. What all did you do with him? And mummy is not going to be there now. You have to tell me. Huh? Come on. Take off your frock and tell me. What all did you do with uncle? Huh? Tell me. I can never forget the fright in her eyes. In that one moment, I realized, I acknowledged that she was telling me the truth. I had to convince myself it had happened to my daughter in my own home behind my back. I just couldn't go back there. I was no longer someone out there. I was the name, and this was my story.
Why are we not interested in finding out what is happening to our children today? Is it just too embarrassing? Maybe it is today. After all, this is a globalized world we live in, where the personal is political. Everything we do or we don't do is under public scrutiny. The police, the judiciary, social activists, political parties, everyone just wants a share of the controversy. Every single time I bring up the subject of having a counseling session for the kids or even a sex education class, the principal just avoids the topic. What if tomorrow one of the students accuses a teacher?
This is really what it's about, isn't it? The dirtiest three-letter word you know. The issues related to it are completely lost in the mire of hypocrisy and denial. Sex, the subject of public shame and private voyeurism. I guess it really is about shame when you think about it. Shame about who you are. Shame about what your neighbor would say. Shame about how society would judge you. Fear and shame, and the fear of shame. But tell me, if 1 in every 3 children are either sexually or physically abused, would all the children you know escape?
What had I done? Was it something bad? I'm so scared. What will happen if I tell? What if I get caught? Will Mom believe me? It hurt. It hurts all the time. I wanted to go away. I want him to go away. Ma! No! No, Ma! No! Don't touch me! Uncle is hurting me! Ma! Ma! Uncle is hurting me! Ma! Ma! Uncle is hurting me! Ma!
How does one describe it? How does it feel when someone molests your love and trust? Because beyond a point, it's not the physicality of it. And it's the betrayal that haunts me. The shock, the confusion, the disbelief, and the sheer repulsion from within. It's like being a cracked vase or a chipped glass. Never quite the same again.
Nip the problem in the bud. That's what another counselor told me. She was more caring and understanding. Bubbly's undergoing therapy now. She still wakes up screaming at some nights. But she's getting to believe that I won't hurt her. That no adult would ever hurt her again. My brother is not welcome in this house anymore. But he has a family, so I'm not filing a police case.
The scariest part about it is that it could happen to anyone, no matter how hard you wish that it wasn't you. And how do you recognize a sex offender anyway? These people, they always seem to be living in a neighboring colony, molesting children you don't know about or you don't want to know about.
Ma got angry. She said Uncle was a nice man. He was Daddy's friend. I made a God promise I wouldn't tell anyone. But I'm so scared. Why doesn't Mama believe me? Will Uncle keep coming home? I don't want him to come home. Please ask him not to come home. Nobody's listening to me. Mama, please, he's hurting me. Mama, listen to me.